My guy, Jaquiski Tartt. And look, he came back on a 1-year deal. He bet on himself. I love that. And we all
love that too. He's making like $850K this year.
Right. And he it's never been about money with him. He wants to be here. We all know that when he's on the field, what he can do, and how he affects the game, how good he was. He was amazing in that Philly game. Fred Warner, who just got the bag. Everybody remembers the Fred Warner interception against the Giants, but it's actually Tartt that alerted Fred Warner to the call, and he's yelling it out. And you can hear Fred Warner talk about that in the press conference after the game. Tartt yelled it out. I recognized it too, and we just and we rolled with it. There's another play that I can reference in 2019, the Bengals game. Towards the end of the game, Keller Weatherspoon, who had already had a pick six in 2019 in the first game against the Bucs, which closed it out. Again, Tartt saw something on film. You can watch it if you go back and you look on Game Pass. He goes like this, and he claps his hands together, and he's telling him about the route. Spoon jumps it, just happens to drop it. If Spoon brings that in, that's back-to-back games with pick sixes, and who knows where his confidence goes from there. So Jaquiski Tartt is absolutely valuable. We all know that it just comes down to injuries, and it's not really make or break, because I believe that no matter what, somebody's going to try to give him a shot wherever he goes. Hell of an athlete. But I think that if he's looking to cash in the way that he believes he is, because that was a smart move, bet on yourself, take the year, make sure that you play all your games, and then you can go to the negotiating table next year when the cap is in a better situation and things are clearer. But Tartt's got to put together a full season. It's year seven. Got to put together a full season at some point. And I think that that's what I mean in terms of make or break. The guy's a hell of a player, and I think he'll tell you himself that it's just been injuries. It's nothing more than that, but it is make or break for him, especially since he's betting on himself. So this is really an important camp for Jaquiski Tartt.
Right, because before this year, he was making $6-7 million a year. He's a really quality player who was being compensated as such. And what's going on is he's missed about 8 games a year for a while now. And it's a make or break year for him, because if he does that again, the days of him making $6-7 million a year are probably over. He's approaching 30. He plays a high impact position. He might be in the Tony Jefferson camp of jumping around team to team, making $800,000, $900,000 a year, which is a life. And he may want to do that, but there is a lot of stake for him. He clearly has pride like Jimmy Ward does, and he's worthy of making the big bucks like Jimmy Ward does. He just needs to stay healthy. So the thing that was interesting to me is at OTAs, he still wasn't healthy. He was still rehabbing the turf toe injury that he had in like October, November last year. Now, I know there's no rush, but that's not good. So I'm not saying it's bad, but I noticed it. And if this is lingering into training camp, that's not good. I don't expect it will. In fact, they said it won't. But something to watch. He needs to play all of training camp. He's a veteran who needs to be out there.
Yeah, and he's just so smart with he can he's a film junkie. When he was on my pod, we had him break down the interception he had against Cam Newton. And the way he started it was like, he's like, well, first of all, it's 21 personnel. They are not going to run the ball out of it. And what he does very well is he studies quarterbacks play action, right? And he said he knew right away the way that Cam started moving. First of all, he knew the personnel and that they were at the logo, he said. He was like, so they're not going to run it from there and not out of 21. So, but he noticed, he said, as soon as he turned his back, he goes, I knew it was play action, and he was playing single high. He got right back to his spot, and he watched it, and he made the interception happen. It's a lot that goes on to what he does and how smart he is and how he affects the game for other players, as I pointed out, the Fred Warner interception, which he even himself in the press conference started it out. And he's a film junkie, man. The guy works, and Jimmy Ward was on your show, and he was talking about how Tartt watches the film and how that kind of changed the way that he's also preparing as well too. So I thought that was really interesting to hear that from him.